You're considering selling your house to an investor. What are the pros and cons? We're going to dig into it right now. All right, first let's go through a small list of pros for selling your home directly to an investor. First and foremost, you don't need to make any repairs to your property. When you sell your home and list it on the open market and you go through a real estate agent in the typical traditional fashion, usually you need to make repairs to your home. So if you see dinged up floors or appliances that don't work, or doors that don't open properly, or maybe your roof leaks. All of those things, typically, you'll be coached to fix prior to listing it on the open market. When you sell it to an investor, those are things they don't really care about. In fact, they're looking for areas in which they can improve the property. So the more work needed, oftentimes, the better, depending on who it is you're selling it to. The second benefit in selling directly to an investor is you don't have to show your property. No showings, no hassles. You don't have a parade of people walking through your home, scheduling times to come see your property. You just sell it once to one investor and then you're done. Now it's possible that investor will have some due diligence to go through. Maybe they bring their own inspector, maybe they bring a contractor, but by and large, you're not having a parade of individuals from the public coming through your home. No open houses, no scheduling conflicts, no people calling right as you sit down to dinner saying, hey, can I come take a look at your property? None of that. So it's hassle-free and easy, no showings, no hassles. The third benefit selling directly to an investor is that you get to choose your closing date. Most investors can be flexible with your timing. So if closing very quickly is of importance to you, most investors have cash available to close extremely quick. If you need more time in your property, a lot of times investors will be able to flex to that. You need a closing 3, 4, 5 months out. We can discuss that, whatever is most beneficial to you. The fourth benefit to selling directly to an investor, typically the investor will pay for most of your closing costs. So your normal closing costs, if you were to go through the on-market process with an agent, you'd have the real estate agent fees, you'd have title and escrow fees, you'd have your excise tax, and then you'd have all the miscellaneous fees that go along with closing, which usually amounts to maybe a couple of $100, maybe a couple of $1,000, depending on the price of your home. When you sell direct to an investor, you don't have agent fees, you don't have title and escrow fees, you don't have the miscellaneous fees that are included with closing. You mainly will just be paying your excise tax, and the amount of that tax depends on what state you're in and how much your home sells for. Now, the fifth benefit to selling directly to an investor, simply put, you have assurance and clarity about where you're going to go next. When you list your home on the open market with a real estate agent, we can usually do a pretty good job of saying the general direction and price that you're going to land, when you might be able to close, but ultimately at the end of the day, we can't control which buyers come to make an offer on your property and what those buyers are willing to pay and willing to do. With an investor, you can negotiate all of these terms up front. You have one person to negotiate with, and you're able to dictate when it is that you'd like to close and move out of your home. And then lastly, if you'd like your money quickly, but you need to stay in your property, a lot of investors will allow you to remain in your home after closing. We call this rent back, or simply you're renting back the home from the new owner, which is the investor that you sold it to. That rent could be $0 or it could be market rate, and that's something that you would negotiate between you and the buyer of your home. Now, what are the downsides to selling directly to an investor? Well, first and foremost, you're not exposing your home to the general marketplace. When we list a property for sale, it's nice to have as many eyes on that as humanly possible. And the reason is, the more people that see your home, well, you might have multiple buyers that want to bid on your home. That in turn ends up with more money in your pocket, typically at the end of the day. So the second downside to selling directly to an investor is in most cases, you're ending up with a little bit less money than you would if you sold on the open market. Here at Sold Simple Seattle, we make fair cash offers on properties, and so we hope to put as much money in your pocket and give you the speed and convenience that you're seeking. I hope you found this helpful. If you find yourself talking with an investor about selling your home, reach out to us. We'd love to answer any questions and potentially make an offer as well. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next video.